Just for context, I know it sounds like this video is coming out of nowhere. It's actually something I've been working on for the past couple months, but this actually doesn't come out of nowhere. It's essentially because once you have an editor that's already helping you out with stuff, it's a lot easier to start up these other projects. So if you really think about it, doing something like YouTube automation and doing something like a social media marketing agency, they're kind of the same thing. Because in both cases, you find a viral strategy that's working, you hire an editor to do it for you, and then if it's done successfully, you keep the profit. That's essentially the idea behind both. So since I had all the YouTube automation stuff running and I had editors that wanted more work, I figured let's also try starting kind of a social media marketing agency aspect to this. And I've essentially been working on that with my friend. Now, obviously, this is not like a huge source of revenue for me yet. We have like 2 clients. But the idea is that if you have the editing team there, this is like an extra source of revenue that you can start to scale out. And it's definitely a lot more stable from YouTube automation because you get paid at least the same amount monthly from whatever your client is paying you. So yeah, this video is just about how I've been doing that so far and how you can do the same thing. Again, being able to scale this out efficiently really only comes when you're at some of the further stages of YouTube automation, like having an editor, but it is still something that you can do to make money even just by yourself. So I just wanted to share how I've been doing it and how you can make money from it too. So with that being said, sorry for the quick disclaimer, back to the video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to start a social media marketing agency, or some people might call it a short form content agency, and how in the past couple months, I've already gotten multiple paying clients that we are managing their social media for. Now, first of all, when I say a social media marketing agency, I'm not talking about running the social media for brands or for companies to sell products with. There's a lot of different angles you can do a social media marketing agency, and the one that I decided to go with was basically helping people who already have long form footage clip it up into short form footage and we run their social media. Now, a lot of people find this extremely valuable because it's a way for them to get more famous and get more eyeballs on this stuff. And let's say they're a performer, if they can get more famous and get more eyeballs, they can probably get booked more, and if they're considered famous, they can probably charge more for those same exact bookings. So if you can get someone a lot of views, you can make a lot of money, and it's very simple because a lot of the time they have all this raw footage of their routines laying around, but they have no idea how to clip this up into short form clips and actually make this stuff go viral. And so that's the first thing you need to understand, how to go viral. So I wouldn't even recommend pitching this to someone unless you already have a good track record of being able to go viral yourself. And this can be with faceless videos or actual videos of you talking, but you basically need to have some sort of evidence that you can actually make someone or something go viral. Now, if you guys don't know me, my name is Bennett, and I happen to be really good at juggling. And so around 2 years ago, I started my social media called Fly Juggler, and I grew it to 367,000 followers. And this was of me posting tons and tons of different juggling videos on the internet. I basically learned how to go viral. From this process alone, I basically got an editor for my own channels. And that's when I realized, hey, if I have editors already editing for the videos that I make, and I already know the strategies that you need to use to go viral, why don't I apply this to other people that I already know? And don't worry, I'm going to walk you through all the steps of actually finding an editor, acquiring clients, going viral in a second. Let me just give you the story. So anyways, I was like, yeah, I have my editor, I have these viral strategies. What is the first step I should go of trying to run other people's social medias? And the instant first thing that I thought of is other jugglers that I already know that already are performing and already have footage but don't have an established social media. The first people that I thought about were these guys, the Passing Zone. Now, these guys are actually pretty famous. They were finalists on America's Got Talent. They've been on Penn and Teller. And so essentially, I pitched it to them. I was like, we can run your social media. I have proof of getting millions of views on my social media, and I really think we could do the same for you. And yeah, we started editing videos for them, and since then, we've literally got them tens of millions of views. Now, not every video will go viral, of course, but every once in a while, you'll have one with like 600K right here, or one with 9.7 million. From there, we started acquiring more clients, which I'll explain more on in a second, and that's basically the process of starting a social media marketing agency. So that's my story, but now let me break down how to do this step by step so you guys can literally do this exactly for yourself. So I think step 1 of starting a social media marketing agency is go viral in some way. If you haven't gone viral before ever, no one's going to trust you when you pitch your social media marketing services to them, and they have no reason to believe that you can actually do what you're saying you can do. Now, obviously, I can't dedicate this whole video explaining how to go viral on social media, but I'll explain the basic principles just as a refresher. But I highly recommend, if you haven't even gone viral yet, you should probably watch entire videos dedicated to that rather than just this synopsis. But basically, to go viral, I would find a niche that you already like. So if you're really into fitness, for example, try to go viral with fitness videos. If you're really into cooking, try to go viral with cooking videos. And really, what you're trying to make is a good, entertaining video, but most importantly, a video that retains viewers all the way to the end and that they'd share. Those two metrics right there, retention rate and share rate, are basically the two most important things that social media platforms are prioritizing right now. So to have a good retention rate, you want to have a really strong hook that captures the person's attention, and then something in it that keeps them watching all the way till the end of the video. So whatever expectations that your hook sets up, they can't be delivered until the very end. If you deliver it halfway through the video and then there's a bunch of fluff after, that's going to kill your retention and ultimately hurt your video. So just to show you an example of how I did this with one of my juggling videos that got 15.5 million views right here, the hook instantly starts off with this, how to do this trick, and then me doing a pretty crazy trick that when you see this for the first time, it grabs your attention because you're like, whoa, what the heck? How is he doing that? And then the video starts showing the steps of how to do it. So step 1, the hands. Step 2, doing the vertical ball, and you can see it's going to go step 3, step 4, etc. And the idea is someone can't really stop watching this video until the very end because otherwise they won't actually see how it's done. So it keeps playing, step 4, combine, and they're still waiting to see how this trick is done. And then finally at the very end, it loops back to the beginning and shows that's how to do this trick. And so essentially what I've done is I've hooked the viewer's attention and then got them to watch all the way to the end, as well as a ton of people are going to be sharing this video because they're like, what the hell? This guy is so good. How did he do that? So yeah, those are the basics of going viral. Again, I don't want to spend this whole video talking about that, but you get the idea. The next step, once you figure out how to go viral, is you can either start by finding clients or start by finding an editor. For now, I'm going to say that the next step you should do is find an editor, because the first thing you should do is once you start posting content like this and actually making any amount of money from it, the first thing you should do is hire an editor to make the videos for you. It's literally the fastest return on investment thing that you can buy. And once you have an editor, then you can actually start your agency and scale up a lot quicker, because now it's not going to be reliant on your time editing the videos for every single client. So step 2 is find an editor. Now there's a couple ways to do this, but I'll show you the way that I did this. I actually went on this Discord right here called discord.gg/video editors. And essentially you can put in a request for what you need. Now, I don't know if I would use this now because they've been a little bit more stringent on the pricing that they have, but there's other Discords you can use, like one called Creative Paradise. And you can also go on Fiverr or Twitter, which is other sources that I've seen people find editors. All in all, there's really no shortage of editors from, third world countries who are really looking to edit videos and will do it for pretty cheap. So yeah, that's how I started, and I put in a paid request. And basically what I like to have people do is I like to have them make a sample to show me if they can do it well or not. And essentially what we do is we give people a document on how they can make the sample. So we're using this to 1, test their creativity, and 2, test their ability to follow instructions, since we're going to have different instructions for every client. And right here is literally the training document that we use. So first we give the context. We run a social media management company that specializes in short form video. Blah, 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 you get the idea, I explain it. And then I give the job description, which is that if you're selected, you'll be basically making videos for these clients, expected around 30 to 60 videos a month, etc. Then for the actual application, we provide them with a really long form videos. So essentially right here, this is like a 1-hour timestamp of their routine. And we tell them in the instructions, look at this 7-second segment of the video, make a list of timestamps that you think would be viral, and then just edit one of the timestamps to make it as viral as possible. We give them some instructions, but we also want to test their creativity, so we don't give them a ton of instructions for them to do it exactly a certain way. And then we essentially let them submit it, and we look over their submissions. When you find one that's good, you can start having him edit your videos. Now, what I would really recommend is making sure that you have the editor before you start working with a client, and make sure you actually trust the editor to even edit your own content. So again, what helped for me is I already had editors that I was comfortable with that were already editing my videos, so I knew they were solid. So when I pitched this to a client, it was really easy to acquire them. So once you have all of that set up, then you can go about acquiring your first client. Now for this specifically, I think there's really an avatar that works really, really well with this, which is a couple different things. Firstly, whoever you're targeting has to have long form footage. If they don't have long form footage, then there's nothing that you can do to really clip it up into shorts. And so the whole job that you'd be offering doesn't really work. If they have to record new footage every time, you're actually making them do work just so that they can pay you even more to edit it, which they don't even want to do. So you have to find someone that has long form footage. So for this, I kind of like to think comedians, performers, podcasters, YouTubers, maybe even streamers. All of these people will need stuff that can get clipped up. Secondly, I think a really good market opportunity right now is people who don't have understanding of social media. So for example, the clients that I work with mostly don't really use social media and they don't really know how it works. And this means there's a really big opportunity for you, especially if you're watching this, you're probably on the younger side, because there's essentially a big information arbitrage. So even if social media was really easy, since they just don't want to deal with social media, don't have it downloaded, didn't grow up on it, there's a big opportunity for you to come in and make up that difference in knowledge and charge a significant amount for it just because they don't want to do any of the work even thinking about social media. They just want the results. Now, I'll be honest, this will typically be older people. So yeah. And then third is you really want to target people that have a budget. Now, this is one thing I've noticed with our agency. We've been able to talk to a lot of people, but a lot of them won't want to pay for it unless they're in the right budget bracket. So comedians, for example, I reached out to a ton of them, and a lot of them told me they really wanted this service, but it's just something that they can't afford. So because of that, we've really decided to try to target corporate performers. People get paid way more to do corporate gigs than they do to do comedian gigs. And so if you can run the social media for someone who does corporate gigs and get them even just one more booking a month, they'll be making thousands of extra dollars from that single booking, and everything that you've been charging them would be 100% worth it for them. So definitely try to target people who actually have the budget for this. I think corporate performers are a good example, but also probably famous people. And the more famous that they are, the better it'll work with. Now, obviously, it's hard to get that at the very beginning. So I'm going to show you how you can start acquiring clients and then slowly build up to these more and more famous people. Now, for this, I like to refer to my boy Alex Hormozy here and basically use the core 4 methods of acquiring leads. Now, essentially, every way of acquiring leads can be split up into 4 different ways. Firstly, they either already know you or they don't know you. And then secondly, you're either talking one-on-one with them or you're talking one-to-many. And using this, we can split up every single kind of method of acquiring new clients and do the ones that are most effective at the start. So what I think is most effective at the start is warm outreach, which is basically reaching out to people that you already know one-on-one. Now, you might have to get creative, but essentially what you need to think about is probably people who your parents are friends with. They will be on the older side, they'll have a budget, and maybe some of them will be doing things like performing, running a business, or whatever it is. Some of them may have enough footage to clip up into podcasts. Go to your mom and dad and be like, who do you know that does any of these things? And if you know them, literally just set up a phone call with them, explain to them how you can make them viral and what that could actually do for their business or for their sales or for their podcast. And that, you know, pretty much everyone is taking advantage of social media right now. And if you're not, you're going to be left behind. And essentially pitch that to them. And honestly, I think this is really the best way to get your first client because they know who you are, they know that you're trying to do a good job, and don't charge insane amounts for this. What I really recommend doing is doing a low price trial phase that you can just use to show them what results you can get for them. And what I do is I set a threshold. We either do it for a month or we get you 1 million views and we stop the trial phase at that point. This way, it's pretty low risk because you don't have to pay that much money for the trial phase. You get a big discount on what our normal price would be, but you still get 30 videos. And if you really need to, basically just charge maybe at or a little bit more than whatever you're paying your editor for the videos so that you're not losing money on the client, but you're just not really gaining much until you actually prove what you're worth. Again, this is only if the client is like skeptical or doesn't trust what you have to offer. From there, I would really try to use referral or cold outreach as your next method. So I would ask whoever you're already doing it for to say, well, who else do you know that has a podcast? Or who else do you know that performs? And essentially try to get into their network and start networking with a lot of other people who essentially do what the client you already have is doing. And that's essentially how I would acquire clients. And then lastly, essentially you have how do you manage the team and posts. So essentially what I do for this is I manage the whole team and the communication of it in Discord. So I just set up a Discord server and added in the editor and everyone else who's part of the company. And then essentially we have a Google Workspace set up so clients can upload all their footage to us and we can edit it. And then here's one of the core, secrets of, social media management. When you post for them, it's way too inefficient to like manually post on every platform. So we have Discord for communication, Google Workspace for storage, and then for posting, I like to use something called repurpose.io for posting. So essentially what repurpose.io does is it lets you automatically repost all your videos from one platform to every other platform. So I can connect all my different social medias in one space, and then I can go to workflows, and then I can set up new workflows between every single social media account. So what we typically do with clients is we set up all their social medias in repurpose.io, connect everything, then we manually log into their YouTube and set ourselves as editor role so that we can post on it. and then we post to the YouTube and we let repurpose.io automatically repost to the other platforms. And this is really good because it means it's really no extra work on your end to get those posts out on other platforms, but you can still advertise that as bringing a ton more value to the client. So essentially you can say, client, not only am I posting to YouTube for you, but we actually post to YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, blah, blah, blah. And that means you'll be getting them a lot more views and a lot more results, but it's actually really no marginal extra cost on your end. So I'll leave the link to Repurpose in the description. It's genuinely been one of the most helpful tools that I use, both personally on my juggling channel and within managing stuff for clients. And that's essentially, I think, one of the simplest ways I could explain the idea of starting a social media marketing agency. There's obviously a lot more complicated parts to this, like I can't summarize this in just one video. Like, for example, you might give bonuses to the editors if he gets above a certain amount of views. And there's obviously so many extra steps, but really this is the core process of starting a social media marketing agency, or again, what I kind of consider this specific version of it, I call like a short form content agency. So with that being said, that's how I've done it. My channel is really here to show my experience doing these things. My biggest value prop to you guys is not that I'm like the richest person of all time or that I'm the best entrepreneur you'll ever meet, but it's that I'm fully transparent with the strategies and methods that I try to use to make money online, and I genuinely show you guys how much that I actually make with that. And in case you don't believe me, if you want to go to the description right now, I actually make the numbers of exactly how much money I make every single month 100% viewable to everyone. This is the actual spreadsheet that I use to track my money. And so if you want to see what that is, you can literally go to the description and check yourself. With that being said, that's really my main mission with the Make Money Online space, to actually transparently explain different money-making strategies that you can use and bring transparency. So if you support that, please consider subscribing. Or the best way to support the mission is to actually go to my free Discord with now 14,000 members, join, and actually drop your best money-making sauce in the chat. As always, thank you guys all so much for watching this video. I'll catch you all in the next one, and peace.